renounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. Let's go. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want to ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
Guess what? Green Bay lost.
Ultra Combo Breaker.
Yes, welcome to the Lions Nation Night live here. We got Ant-Man and Mark Orm from Orm's Forum. What's going on, Ant-Man?
Hey, Mike, how you doing? You know me, I'm just grateful to be here chatting Detroit Lions football with you fine gents. And I just want to quickly say this. Congratulations on your 50K sub the other week. I was in your chat, but I've not been able to tell you personally. You are one of the best at doing this, bud, and you absolutely deserve that. We'll get you to 100 next, because all onwards and upwards for you, buddy.
Without your help and Mark's help, it wouldn't have happened, period. So I appreciate both you guys very much. Mark Orr from Orr's Forum, man, it's been a minute. My man is back.
What's going on, man? Can you hear me? I'm doing this through the phone.
Yes, I can hear you. I can
Okay.
absolutely hear you.
Okay, it's
and,
a little.
You look great, man. You look fantastic.
Hey! I feel 75 and I'm only 50, but that's okay.
That's what the Lions do to you. They'll definitely do that to you.
But congratulations, Mikey, on that 50K too, brother. On the 53K, that's awesome, bro. I appreciate it, man. Man, you are the staple of the YouTube Detroit Lions, man. So that's awesome, brother. I'm really proud of you, bud.
Hey, again, without you guys' help, man, it's not even happening, man. We've been doing this for a long time, and guess what? We're all going to continue to do this, man. We're all going to grow together, and we're all going to be having a good time. Chrome and 9 Drinks in the building. Appreciate everybody coming in here, folks. One-word reaction to the Green Bay Packers taking an L last night to Mark Orum's second favorite team, the G-Men. I was watching this game, folks.
Yeah.
And when Saquon Barkley fumbled, I said, oh, my God, my heart just fell out of my chest. And they scored the touchdown. I'm like, no. And then Danny DeVito, younger self, goes in there, does a drive, wins the game, and that is a massive victory for the Detroit Lions, having the Packers lose. Yes, the Lions lost, but guess what? The Packers lost. A ton of other NFC teams lost, except for the Vikings. That's a big-time victory. If the Lions can get to 10 wins, Anthony, it's looking pretty good for Detroit in the NFC North.
Oh, tell me about it. It's like we're on the precipice now, and this is where things get really nervous, because we've been on the precipice before. You know, I've seen so many things about 2016 in these last few days. We're very close, you know, just trying to get over that final little hump, but we've been given a big opportunity here. Obviously, the Vikings played just before us on Saturday, so if the Bengals are able to pull off a win there, then we have the greatest of opportunities, and we can grab it with both hands and throttle the life out of this conference. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. I really am. We've waited a very long time. We've been through a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, and it's not over just yet. But like I said, we're on the precipice. I'm ready.
Yeah, and I know some people saying backdoor into the NFC North. I don't want that. I'll backdoor into this bad boy. Why? Because we haven't won the NFC North yet. I just want the division title. I'll backdoor in anyway, Mark Orem. What was your thoughts watching that game? It's a double victory for you because you do support the Giants.
Yeah.
You're real happy.
Yeah, I do love my Giants, man. They're fun to watch. They're struggling again this year. They got some pieces going on there, but Tommy Cutlets gets the job done. Mr. DeVito there. It was a fun game, and like you said, when we're watching Barkley have that nice run, he fumbles the ball, and I'm like, not again. This is going to be a tough loss for the Giants, even tougher loss for the Detroit Lions if the Packers come out on top of this game against New York. So, but hey, man, everything happened in our favor. it was a fun game to watch. I actually liked watching that quarterback play for the Giants, man. That Tommy DeVito kid. He's got the ooh, what's going on over here? He's got all that going on. He got the Italian flags. They're really supporting that kid in New York. But it's fun for the Giants, because maybe they can build on him. I don't know if they'll be their future quarterback. I don't really see that. But he's turning some heads right now. He's doing some things, but even better for our team, the Lions. We still got that 2.5 point lead, whatever it is, on the or 2-game lead on the Vikings, 3 on the Green Bay Packers. They could have made it really interesting there, though. But we're not playing very good football right now, so we need to come on top and get on Saturday night and see what happens against the Broncos.
So essentially, look, it won't be it's a fact, but if the Lions win on Saturday, it is all but guaranteed the Lions are in the playoffs, Ant-Man. Tell the folks about the importance of this game, winning this game, and what it means.
I mean, it's very self-explanatory, isn't it? The importance of the game is huge because, as I've said already, we're on the precipice of something this team has not done in a very long time, which is win the conference and go into the playoffs with some form of momentum. Because I say last time we did it, we'd lost 3 in a row. We went in cold as a bad Christmas turkey, and we got knocked out of the playoffs. So there's a lot of symbolic things here. But to get over that hump, for this young team to finally sort of get there and break that last rung into getting into the playoffs, it's huge for this team because you can see right now a lot of pressure mistakes been made by this team because they're young, because so many of them have not been in this situation before where a lot of pressure's on them and there's a lot on the line. And we're missing vets out the team who have been there, Gardner Johnson, Mosley, Hal, guys who've been there, done that. They're having to do it without them. So getting that final win really to get us into the playoffs, to get us right in the driving seat of the NFC North is absolutely huge. Wherever it comes, whether it be against the Broncos this week, the Vikings next week, you will see the pressure lift like immensely. You will see them start to play more freely. They will be without fear. Just at the minute, it's just like you're one step away, and this is where the mistakes happen. So,
NFC North clinching the scenario here, folks. If the Lions win on Saturday and they beat the Vikings the following week, the Lions clinch the NFC North, no matter what. If the Lions win 2 games, they clinch the NFC North. 2 is the magic number. 1 is very close to the magic number. If the Lions get to 10 wins, because you got to understand that the Packers are pretty much eliminated. If the Lions get to 10 wins, they're pretty much done. And then the Vikings, they got to face the Lions twice, and they face is it the Packers? Yeah, the Packers. And then the Chicago Bears are pretty much eliminated. It'll be eliminated by Saturday. And then the Packers, they can only get to 10 wins. And they got to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got to face the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. And that's not an easy task now. So the Lions, it's a must-win game on Saturday. If they do it, Mark, it's almost there. It is almost put that flag down. We are the champs. Finally, for the first time ever, it would be very close. If the Lions win on Saturday, there could be multiple scenarios where if the Lions win and the Vikings lose or some sort of situation, the Lions can win it just by winning next week. But if you win 2, it guarantees it. It is an automatic NFC North championship.
Absolutely. We control our own destiny. We need to win a couple games here, man. This Broncos game is humongous. It's the biggest game of the year. This is when they try to, you come out and you show your true worth right now, man. Do they really want this? This is at home. This is another primetime game. The Broncos are playing really good football. You asked me this question a month and a half ago, 2 months ago about the Denver Broncos. I'm saying we're beating these guys by 30. Now this team has come on, man. So, there's some scenarios going on. We need a little bit of help here and there, but we need to just control our own business, man. And we come out and beat the Broncos. Prove that you want this. You haven't played good football in 5-6 weeks. Let's go. Get your heads out of your, and take control of the situation. this is going to be a really tough game. I don't really know who I'm going to pick yet, but they have to prove that they're worth. The Goff's got to play smarter. Defense got to play better. There's lots of things going on right now. We need some help with the Vikings losing, Green Bay losing. Looks like Green Bay has got that 7th seed right now. Minnesota got the 6th. You know, it's crazy right now, man. Everyone talks about how bad the North is, but there's 3 teams. There's 3 teams in the playoffs right now for the NFC North. So, you know, some good things are happening. So some good things are happening in NFC North. I know the record doesn't really show it, but you know, there's some good things happening in the NFC North right now, man. But we do need some help. We need Cincinnati to beat up on Minnesota. I don't know who Green Bay's playing this week. I forget who you guys said.
Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay. So, you know, there's some tough games for that squad too. We need those guys to help us out a little bit, but it's time to control your own destiny, man, and start winning some football games here. You know, we haven't lost 2 games in a row in like a year and a half or something like that. I forget what the stat really is, but we haven't lost 2 games in a row in a long, long time. So this is going to be a tough match facing Dangerous and the Denver Broncos. So it's time to win this game and at least lock up a playoff spot for sure.
It's going to be a tough game on Saturday. I have a 1-point game, and I'll that's how close I have it here. But you know, Denver does got deficiencies. Their offense is not high powered. Their offense is dink and dunk, and it's been working though. And that's, you know, it works for them. That's why they're doing it, but they're not going to go down range 50-yard bombs to Cortland Sutton. That's not generally what they do. They may take a couple shots there, but they're not this downrange offense. They're going to pick you apart slowly. Kind of like the Lions offense, 5-yard dump off pass and let the player kind of do it itself. And then every once in a while, there's a play action. Russell Wilson is mobile, but he's not like he used to be, but he's still mobile. He's not Justin Fields mobile. This defensive line has to do its job. And they're going against right now, PFF's number 6th offensive line in the NFL in Denver Broncos, a great offensive line. Bruce Irvin, Aiden Hutchinson, whoever is on the interior, these guys got to get home in this game. We cannot allow Russell Wilson cooking and run 30 yards on 3rd and 18. Ant-Man, what do you think?
Yep.
Yeah, we've got to be very careful against this offense of theirs. I mean, it's led by veterans who've been there, who've done that. You know, Russ has been around forever. Peyton has been to the big one, won the big one. And I mean, last year they looked bad. The start of this season, they look bad. They're looking really good now. They're looking well coached. They've got a good blend of youth and experience everywhere on the line, in the wide receiver core, in the running back room. They're well balanced out, and they're starting to find ways to win lots of games. And they've been on a hotter streak recently. They lost the other week, but it's very dangerous. When you've got a quarterback like him in there, you've got to unsettle him. You've got to disturb the rhythm of this team. And when they were bad, that's what was happening. Like, Russ was getting harassed a lot. Yes. He was making bad throws. The offense couldn't function with him. And, of course, not having Javonte Williams didn't help. You start the run game, you put him under a bit of pressure. It soon falls. But if you let it hum, it's dangerous. And like I say, they've won a lot of games recently. They're one of those teams where they're like us last year. They've gotten a run. They can still make the playoffs. They're banging form, and no one really wants to play them. I know I don't really want to play them. They're
one game away from taking their division.
Yeah.
They're one win away from Kansas City Chiefs. So they're good.
Yeah.
What makes this team really good is they are dominant in the trenches, both offense and defensive line. Their offensive line 6th in the NFL. Their defensive line got Nick Benito. Well, he's more of a linebacker, but he still does a lot of rushing. 7 sacks. Jonathan Cooper, 5.5 sacks. Zach Allen, 5 sacks. Baron Browning, 3.5 sacks. PJ Locke, 3 sacks. The Lions' offensive line, they have to have a dominant game. They have to. If the Lions' offensive line can pass protect for Goff, we don't know if Frank's going to be back. The Lions can win this game. If they don't, and it's this trend that we've seen the last couple weeks, you're going to see this offense struggle quite a bit, Mark.
Yeah, we need Frank Ragnow back, man, because this Colby Sorsel situation is starting to, he's a rookie, man, and he's starting to show it. He's starting to show it. He's had some really bad games coming up down the stretch here against Packers. He got abused. He didn't have a very good day the last couple of weeks as well. You know, they're putting in the Iwosika in there every now and then too. So, and Decker has not been playing very well. He's been getting actually abused a lot lately. Taylor Decker. So, you know, he needs to step up his game as well too. I think the with the makeshift O-line, some of the miscommunication going on right there has been kind of showing their true colors a little bit. So we need a healthy O-line. We need Frank back. And I don't know, man, that guy's got like 3,000 different injuries. Got a back, got a toe. He's got a knee injury. He's got all kinds of problems going on right now with Frank. So hopefully he can play, and we can show that we can handle this front seven of the Denver Broncos, because they bring it. Because like you said, man, you routed off some numbers there for those Broncos, man. And that team brings it. They have a very good defense. They have a really good secondary that can they hold it down. Patrick Surtain leading that way over there. You know, he should be locked up on St. Brown. So, you know, this is going to be a tough game, man. But we need this healthy O-line. We need a healthy O-line against these guys, because they're just not playing up to par right now.
Here is their biggest weakness for the Denver Broncos, and I truly think the Lions will exploit it, because I do believe this is Dan Campbell's type of offense. Broncos defense, stopping the run, the 32nd in the NFL. They allow 144 yards on the ground. Lions must run the football in this game. I don't care who it is. I want to see more Jahmyr Gibbs. But if you want to win this game, this one is pretty simple, if you ask me. Run the football, play action with Jared Goff. Let's get back to what this team is good at offensively. And with the team that allows the most yards and run defense, we must take advantage on our house to run the football and stay consistent with it. And give Jahmyr Gibbs opportunities to make gigantic plays in which he can take one to the house at any moment. He's so good. We have to do that there, Ant-Man.
Yeah, we've got to do a lot better than we did against the Bears. And this is where, you know, Campbell needs to not fanboy over Peyton. I know he's the guy who's taught him everything he knows, but you're right. You have to adapt to the enemy's weaknesses. Now, the thing that annoyed me the most in the Bears game, like in the first game between us and the Bears, what changed the tide of the game? It was J-Mo's touchdown, because he spread the field. They were too light on him. He got the touchdown. And then what did they do after that? They backed off. That great run defense of theirs backed up the field. And for that second touchdown drive, which won us the game, we were able to run the football because we took them out their element. We took them out the strength. In that second game against the Bears, we were stubborn. We just tried to run it through the best run defense in the league. We didn't use J-Mo. He was anonymous. Why? Because the Bears did not respect a damn thing about our downfield passing attack. They stacked the box. They brought their guys up. It disrupted our intermediate game, our short game, our run game, because we didn't give them an option otherwise. We saw in the first game what J-Mo did. Why we didn't follow that, I don't know. We were too stubborn for our own good. So you've got to look at this game and you've got to say, yeah, actually, they've got a very good secondary. So you need to set up the run to set up the pass. You need to try and get these guys on islands and get your good guys up against them one-on-one and create opportunities. Not go out there and try and pass the ball and surprise them. And because Peyton's too clever for that. You go out there and try and take away from what you are. This is a perfect game for us. We can set up the run. We can establish the run to set up the pass. We had to do the opposite against the Bears, which for some reason we don't want to try and do that when we can. But yeah, you've got to exploit the run game here, get the heavy yards, and then you can attack that secondary, which is very good.
In the first half of the Bears game, Art, we were demolishing them in the run game. 105 yards rushing, and coming to this game, Chicago is number one against on rush defense, allowing only 79 yards per game. We put up 105 yards rushing in the first half. And just to exactly what Ant-Man says here, if you want this run game to work, we got to do play action. And you know what I would have loved to see? The very first play action to Jameson Williams for a deep pass. Just throw it as hard as you can. I don't care if they complete it or not, but at least it lets the defense know that the Lions here will take a deep shot. And just like you said, it opens up the run game. That's what we need to do here. Play action and running are synonymous. And this is what this offense is good at. If you want the run game to work, you got to have your play action. If you want your play action to work, you got to have your run game.
Yep.
And it's what the Packers did to us.
Exactly.
Christian Watson, 50 yards. They did that. The Bears do that a lot. Like, first play of the game, you'll see them take a big shot downfield so they can try and run the ball. And you're agreed. We need to do that. And just overall, they need to give J-Mo more touches. This whole stuff about earning your touches, he was the guy who, after the pick, came all the way back and punched it out and nearly got us the ball back.
Yeah.
He ran all the way from the back of the end zone. Jameson Williams is putting in more effort than anyone else on this team right now. Anything they ask him to do, run block, pass block, going back to try and make plays when there's turnovers, he's doing everything he can.
Everything.
You have got to give him touches. All the touches. He has earned, at this point, Raymond is doing bugger all. Reynolds is doing nothing. He is above the pecking chart in them now. When you're manufacturing touches for people, it's Amon-Ra, J-Mo, and then the running backs. That's where you're at.
Yeah, the thing is, he's not even getting touches, though. He's not even getting targets. He's not even getting targets, J-Mo. Like, this is the most frustrating. Like, you reached up to get this kid at 12. What are you waiting for? Every week we hear Dan Campbell, yeah, man, he's earning his stripes. Ben Johnson, yeah, I'm starting to trust him a little more. No, you're not, because you're not giving the kid enough targets. He's not getting let alone touches. The kid's not even getting targets, man. How do you? Yeah. He didn't get any targets. I got one target last week, and it was severely underthrown by Jared Goff, and he had his man beat by 2 steps. 2 steps, and Goff can't hit him. Yeah. That is frustrating. Never mind going deep with the kid. If you don't want to go deep with the kid, if Goff can't do it because he's limited or whatever's going on, get the ball in his hands like you said, Ant-Man, and a slant. Get him on a screen. Get the ball in his hands. This is super frustrating right now. Watching this team week in and week out, reach for a kid that's number 12, and you're not getting him the football. I'm sick of saying, well, he's earned his stripes. Look, if Dan Campbell comes out and says that, my mind almost blew up, man. I'm like, you were saying the same thing every week. Yeah, he's starting to earn his stripes. We're trying to trust him a little bit more. You're obviously not, because you're not giving the guy enough touches. You're not giving him targets. So it's really frustrating to watch from a Lions fans point of view. Because this kid with the ball in his hands, he could be special. He really can. And then
go ahead.
He gives that effort, like you said, Ant-Man. The effort, he came back and he popped that ball out. Like that was him and St. Brown made that play. That was amazing. It just went out of bounds. We didn't get the ball back, but he's given the effort. Give the kid a chance, man. It's just really frustrating to watch right now.
And he's sorry, but he's central to your offense. So the amount of things you can do with him is crazy. I mean, like that stupid 4th and 1 call in the 4th quarter against the Bears where we lined up in I formation needing a yard and we're lining our running back up 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage and it gets blown up with Gibbs. Why not have J-Mo in and give it him on an end around? The guy is so quick. You are not going to be able to defend 1 yard against J-Mo when he's in motion. That's what he's there for. These are the situations he's there for. Don't come up with these timid, stupid, rubbish calls on 4th and 1 when you're deep in your own territory and you're lining up your running back 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's just baffling. You've got this guy. He's the key. Unlock him because you can do so much more. We can do our bread and butter stuff if we target J-Mo and we put him on there. And he's earned his stripes now. When he first came in, he's got to earn it. He's earned it now. Right. You've got no more excuses not to target him because he does more on this team than any of the wide receivers do. Outside of Amon-Ra.
Interesting move that could be taking place this week. There's a guy named Hendon Hooker who has been did that 21-day window. Is it possible that if he were to be added to the 53 roster, because at some point you got to add him after the 21-day window, maybe they have a player too, kind of like a not a wildcat thing, because we've seen it with David Montgomery in the last couple of weeks. Maybe you throw in a Hendon Hooker for a play. And it could be a QB or a run-pass option, something like that. I don't know. Maybe that would help out. Do you think that's possible, Mark? Maybe a play or two? Because we've seen it with the Wildcat with Montgomery. Why not give him just like one play where it's almost like a Taysom Hill?
Yeah, I think he's a little bit built there for the Taysom Hill. I understand where you're coming from, though, man, because the threat with the legs and the arm, because he has both. He's a rookie. He's not going to cut. I personally still don't think he's going to dress this year. I think they're going to shut him down unless they carry 3 quarterbacks, which is that takes away a position. So that would be kind of a little bit dicey to do that. I wouldn't scoff at the idea of doing it, but I'm not sure I'm putting him in that situation as of right now. They still got Teddy Bridgewater on this team, and I think he's going to take over for Bridgewater, but I understand where you're coming from and do a little bit of a gadget play. Maybe throw the defense off. Maybe. I'm still sticking with how I feel about this whole situation with Hooker. I think he's not going to dress. He's only been practicing for 2 weeks with the team. First time all year. He has not practiced with the team all year up until 2 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, whatever it is. That 21-day window is coming up. They're going to have to make a decision. Are they going to carry 3 quarterbacks? Because they're not going to make Hooker Goff's backup. They're not going to tell Bridgewater to hit the streets. No, I'm just saying. They might. Like, if they carry 3 quarterbacks, I'd be shocked. Because now you're taking away a defensive spot, an offensive line spot. You're taking away positions.
Will Harris.
Yeah, Will Harris. Yeah, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, Will Harris for sure. Hey, Will Harris, goodbye. I absolutely, but I just when you carry 3 quarterbacks, you're taking away a pretty a position. Sometimes that might hurt your team because But I wouldn't mind seeing Hooker in there for a play, but you got to be real careful with that kid right now. Still, I think he's fully healed. He obviously is. I think he has been for a while, to tell you the truth. But yeah, let's be careful with Hooker. But hey, man, if they want to do some trickery, I'm all for it, man.
Yeah, just something to do with spark.
Yeah,
because I've noticed they've done Wildcat with Montgomery. I think it's like the last 2 weeks. They've done a play or 2, and I'm like, what if they did that with Hooker? It's at least you have the threat of the pass for sure, because you can't just say this dude's going to run it like Montgomery. He can pass. He can pass the football. So that's just the thing out there. I haven't heard anything or anything like that, but I just wonder if they would do something like that. I think it would intrigue me. Let's talk about Jerry Jacobs, Ant-Man.
Oh.
What is going on with this situation here?
I mean, Jerry's not a cornerback 1. That's the thing. We're giving him assignments that he shouldn't be getting. Now, I think overall, for what we've gotten from Jerry as an undrafted free agent, he's been a fantastic player for this team. And I still think he is a great player for this team if you're having him in your cornerback depth room. If you need a guy to rotate in, take some snaps, take some big assignments, I still trust him implicitly. But he's not a cornerback 1 at this moment in time. And putting him in the positions you are doing, like, I don't know why Cam Sutton is not marking DJ Moore, because clearly best receiver on the field for them. You want your cornerback 1 on him. I don't think AG is helping him. I think they're putting him in positions to fail. You talk about putting players in positions to succeed. They are putting Jerry in positions to fail. They are not working to his strengths. Jerry is good at the line of scrimmage, coming up against screen passes, blowing up plays. He's really good at that. But you're putting him one-on-one against elite wide receiver 1s. He's not that type of guy. And it's gross negligence on behalf of this team that they continue to do that. I don't know who Cam Sutton's lining up against. Darnell Mooney? Jesus. Jerry Jacobs could deal with someone like Darnell Mooney, but you put him with Moore, it's just wrong. And the other problem is you've got no veterans in your secondary to help him. Like CJ. I've said, the CJ we miss chronically because there's not a leader in the second. They're all young. Yep. You're playing Kirby Joseph and Ife Melifonwu, who are both rookies at safety. So not only is Jerry on an island, but his backup are both rookies. Kirby's not playing so well at the minute. Ife's playing well, but he's had limited snaps. He's just coming into a starting role. So he's not got the protection to help him, and he's been given assignments which are way too difficult for him. But at the same time, I think he gets a lot of unfair criticism as well, because I think the coaching staff are just sending him on a hide into nothing, but he's still doing individually good stuff in games. He still makes good plays, but they're not helping him at all, and I don't like it because I still think he is a viable part of this team going forward. I want him in the cornerback depth room. Like, he's done far more than anything than Will Harris has done, who was a third-round pick for us. Will Harris couldn't even, clean his shoes. He's that bad. He's still a good part of this team.
I've been pulling out since the Ravens game, Chargers. I've been pulling my lack of hair out of my head, watching Jerry Jacobs on a number 1 wide receiver. I don't get it. Why he's on number ones with Keenan Allen, with every single team that we have faced. He is going against number 1 wide receivers, and I'm pulling my lack of hair out of my head, Mark. I don't understand why Aaron Glenn continues to do this. Why is he doing this? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand either, Mikey. Let's call it what it is, man. Jerry Jacobs is an undrafted free agent. It's a great story. It's a really good story. He's a tough kid. He's physical. I think he plays the run really good in the NFL. But when he has to cover, that's where you get him. And let's be honest, man, about this whole second. I don't think Cam Sutton is a cornerback 1. I think he's a really good 2. I think he's a really nice number 2. And Jerry Jacobs is a backup. That's what he is. And he has tough assignments, like you said. You got Keenan Allen on him. He's covering DJ Moore, and DJ Moore literally just runs right by him 5 yards. It's like it wasn't even fair. Like, it didn't even look like, come on, man. And he's constantly put in these situations, and at least have Cam Sutton, who I like. Don't get me wrong. I like Cam Sutton. I think he's good.
Jacobs.
I just don't think he's a true number 1, but he needs to be traveling with the wide receiver ones. He just does. He just does. If anybody's going to get beat, I want to see the guy that they paid a boatload of money to at least get beat. Not a guy that's an undrafted free agent, like Ant-Man said, that's not going to be part of this future. There's no reason in the world why a guy like Jerry Jacobs should be covering Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, any type of number 1. He shouldn't be. He just shouldn't be. And, I feel for the kid a bit because he is what he is. This is what he is. He's a number 3. He's a number 4 on a team that plays physical. You can bring him in. He can do some good things for you in certain situations, but he shouldn't be traveling with the ones, man. And we've seen this a lot this year, and it's burned us a ton. And I don't understand. Glenn has got to get out of his way and just tell guys like Cam Sutton or something, you got to travel with the ones, man. That's it. We don't have a pass rush. So you got to do your job. And hey, you get burned, you get burned. Things are going to happen. But Jerry Jacobs should not be traveling with the number 1s. No chance.
Why, AG? I've not figured it out, Ant-Man. Why is he doing this? It doesn't make any common sense. My 11-year-old daughter looks at it and is like, "What? Anybody can see this."
This is where the injury to Mosley's really hurt us, because by now Mosley should have been back and fully healthy. If he'd have been playing since he came back from his first injury, we'd have Mosley at 1, we'd have Sutton at 2, we'd have Jerry at 3. And in that situation, I think Jerry flourishes, because you bring him into situations in which he's good. You bring him in against the run, you're bringing him up against screens, you're not putting him against ones. So this Mosley injury has hurt us big time, because now it means we've had to elevate everybody. And as has been said, is Cam a cornerback 1? Not sure. So you're kind of maybe doing a high level 2 to a 1 and then a 3 to a 2, and then it upsets the balance of everything. But what AG should be doing is providing him safety help. If you're going to persist with this, fine, but you've got to put a man over with him to give him a hand. And the safety help just doesn't seem to be there. And the communication, it's god awful. It's terrible. Like, what is Dre Bly teaching these guys? Like, you should have them all week running plays, communicating with one another, put them in high-pressure situations, in 2-minute drills, have them talk, and until they get it right, you keep doing it again and again and again and again and again. Because when Jerry got burned the other day, the safeties didn't move a muscle. It blown coverage. You're not giving him help. So you have to help Jerry. You have to give him some assistance against these, and they're not. They're just stubbornly leaving him one-on-one. And I don't know what Aaron's doing at this point, because the adjustments have just not been made. I mean, like, defense did all right on Sunday, but it's giving up too many stupid plays, too many long 3rd downs, 4th downs. It's indisciplined. There's no communication. There's a lot of problems with it, and I just don't know at this point. The injuries have crippled us. Like, we have lost our 2 senior guys in the secondary, and it shows because everything we wanted is now out of whack. We don't have our cornerback 1, and we don't have our leader. So this is the issues it causes in its stead.
If I see Jerry Jacobs and Cortland Sutton, I'm going to lose my mind.
I mean,
you're going to see it, though. That's the thing, brother.
The Broncos scored a touchdown the other day where they did the fade into the end zone, and I'm just thinking that's going to be us. Like, they just tossed it over the top to Sutton, I think to Judy, I think it was. And you're like, oh my God, I can see that play getting it. I can see it now. I could just envision a Lions player there, and they're going to pull the exact same thing against us. So you have got to figure a way out here. You've got to give some more protection to the secondary. You're going to have to drop your linebackers a bit, put them in coverage, and give them some opportunity. Make the throws harder for Wilson. Like, make the throws harder for a quarterback, because Fields really, he made some really good throws, and he was under a bit of pressure, but you've got to make it more difficult for him.
Yeah, they got to figure this out. Like, they just give them some help. I don't see a problem with that. Right now, we're a bend and break defense. I would like to at least have a bend and not break defense. Like, even if they're going to give up some plays, my God, like, because what's happening right now is just not working. Maybe bring in Stephen Gilmore. I've been saying this for probably over a month now. They give it a shot. Look, what's the worst that happened? He gets burned. Well, we're already getting burned. So it looks like it doesn't really change the outcome. So at least we could see, but we've seen in preseason that he's fast and he turns his head. That is something that we don't have right now. So maybe to give that a try. What's your prediction for the game, Mark Orm from Orm's Forum?
Man, I'm really nervous about this football game. I'm going to pick Detroit as of right now. That could change by the end of the week. But I'm going to say 28-24 Detroit Lions. They have to come out, man, and show this crowd that they really want it.
That's the dumbest thing I've heard in a while. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know. So I
could relate to a lot of things I say, so I have no idea.
I say a lot of dumb things myself.
What do you got for the outcome there, man?
I think we're going to win. I think they're going to, because as we've said, this team hasn't lost back-to-back games since the 1-6 stretch last year. It's over a year. Every time they lose, there's a reaction, and I think that Bears game was a humiliation. Like, let's not two bones about it. You have been kicked in the ass by the weakest team in the NFC North, and that will have embarrassed them. You saw the look in Amon-Ra's face. You saw the look on Goff's face. You saw the look on all the guys, on Hutch's face afterwards.
Hutch really took it hard. Hutch took it hard.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Hutch was almost in tears, man. Hutch was pretty much in tears.
Red eyes. Yeah, he was in tears.
But the one thing I know about this team is when they're faced with this level of adversity, they've matured into a team which can fight back and recover. And I think this is a big game for them, because if the Vikings win on Saturday and we lose, it's one game. And next week you could lose the division. You could lose lead of the division. I think they're going to come back big. I think we're going to see our best performance in a long time this week, because I think that it really matters. I think the players know it really matters. And I think, it's put up or shut up here. And I'd back the team to do it. So I'm going to have us winning 40-27. I do think we're going to come out and be dominant. And this Broncos team, they're due their lull now. They've had their big run. I think that all the anger and frustration of last Sunday, we're going to let out on them.
I am with you here. I think that the Lions, when I see Nathan Hutchinson in tears, I have a feeling that he's going to play out of his, like, there's going to be a lot of players, they're disappointed, and they're going to play this best, they're probably their best game, that they can do this Saturday. They're embarrassed. The Lions right now, they feel kind of like the underdog, right? Even though we got a 4-point, but right now it kind of feels like now we're the underdog again. And that's good to have. You want that to have that. I think Dan Campbell's embarrassed what happened. And like you said, we don't lose back-to-back games. And when we get embarrassed like that, we always come back and just wreak havoc. And that's when they play their absolute best. This, by far, is going to be a tough game. I got 28-27. Lions win by 1. It's at home. Denver's really good. But again, if it's at Denver, I have Denver winning. But they're coming here on a 8:15 p.m. primetime game where we have been really good at night. The Lions fans, I can't, knowing the fact that we get to 10 wins, these guys are going to be out of their mind, the fan base out there. And Russell Wilson, I think he's good, but he's not a mobile guy to where he's going to be Justin Fields. Like, he's not going to be doing all this consistent, like that type of play. And I think if the defensive line can get any sort of pressure, you'll throw the ball a little bit earlier, and that will help the Lions out. That'll help the Lions out.
The biggest key for this, you've got to come out quick. Because if you come out like the Bears and you're 10-0 down at the end of the first quarter, you will lose the crowd and you will start getting hostility from the crowd. Because the crowd are at the point where they're demanding now. They know this team can win the conference. They know this team can go to the playoffs, and they're not going to accept a collapse now. So you cannot come out flat.
Start the ball. Start with the ball on offense. The pass, the toss or the coin toss. Start offensively.
Take it. Get points. Get up. Because then the crowd will back you. Like, if you do what you do like against the Saints, you're 3 scores up quite early. I don't think that the Broncos can't come back from that. They're not a team built to come back from that sort of deficit. I mean, I know they've done it before, but I think we win in that situation. If we're 10-0 down after the first quarter and the offense is not going, that atmosphere will turn toxic, and very quickly you could lose the game. So they've got to come out quick in this one.
100%. Jerry Jacobs makes me miss Okuda. Oh, for sure, man. It makes me miss
No.
Like I said, man, like Jerry's playing bad, but he's also in a really bad position. And
it's not Jerry's fault.
Terrible position.
He's an undrafted free agent, man. Like, this is what we should expect. Really, it's just he's getting put in some bad situations, like Ant-Man said. Miscommunication with the safeties. Safety's not helping him out. Letting guys run by. So, man, I do feel for Jerry Jacobs somewhat, but you know what? They need to be better.
Yeah. I don't think it's a trap game because everybody knows Denver's good. It's not like they're some bum team. They've won 6 out of 7. They got a good head coach. They're playing great defense. They're one of the best defenses right now in football since that 70 burger dropped on them. That's not a trap. I think this is more of like, this is a very good team, and it's kind of makes me feel like
underdogs.
Week 1 versus the Kansas City Chiefs, right? They're a good team, and this is not something that we're going to look over. It's not like a Carolina Panther team, or not making fun of your Giants or a Giants team or something like that. But
this is a statement win. If we win this is a statement win. Not only are you beating, a Super Bowl winning QB, you're beating a Super Bowl winning coach, one of the best to do it, who's turned that team round. You're beating Russ, who's been there and done that. You are beating a highly experienced team in a situation you've not been in before. So this is a huge statement win for us. Like, I think the pressure, if you get this is a bigger win for us than it is for them. If the Broncos beat us, no one bats an eyelid. If we beat them, everyone's like, oh, actually, that's a big win for the Lions.
That would be a big win.
They're serious. Yeah. It means
all that negativity will be gone. A lot of negativity will be gone because this is not a bum team. It's not, oh, you just beat the Saints. Oh, you just beat the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Oh, Denver's a good team.
Yeah. And we've swept that conference so far. So, it's a good conference. It's a good conference, and we've performed well against these teams. So, there's no reason we can't go out and do it again. But, it's certainly not a trap game. I think, if anything, it's a trap game for them. Because, like you said, they're a game behind in their conference. People will expect them to come here and beat us. We're only, 3.5-point favorites. That's 3-point home advantage. People are basically calling this a pick'em.
A pick'em game.
So and in a pick'em situation, generally, the away team is favored to be stronger. Hence
I'm just happy. I'm really happy that their offense is a little bit weaker for their team because our defense is weak. That helps a little bit, right? This is not, some explosive offense. This ain't the Chargers when we faced them over there. They're in the 20s. Pretty much all their numbers are in the 20s. And I think that helps the Lions defense out because we are struggling. And I know they got a really good defense, but I do think the Lions can put up points. I do. I really think that Jared Goff in this offensive line can get it figured out. Stop turning the football over. He knows he's got to stop doing that. That's the killer right here, is turning the football over. If it's not there, take the sack. If it's not there, throw it away. If it's not there, just hold on to the football and go down. Do not turn the football over. It can't happen in this game. Right now, Denver is +6 in the turnover differential. They are top 10 in the NFL. They're sitting at 7. The Detroit Lions are -6. We're sitting at the very bottom of the NFL. So don't turn the football over. That's the reason why the Broncos are winning, is they're really good at getting the football. It's just like the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints was really good getting the football. We didn't turn it over. We win the game. Do the same in this game. Take it just a drive by drive. It is okay to punt. I'm not saying punt all the time, but you don't need to go for it on every 4th down. You don't need to do stuff like that. Delayed handoff on a 4th and 1. Just don't turn the ball over. Don't do turnover on downs. Be kind of conservative in that route, Mark.
Yeah, that's the big thing right there, man. Jared Goff has had 10 turnovers in the past 4 games. That cannot be done by your $30+ million man who's looking for a $45-50 million contract. It just can't be done. It's way too many turnovers. Denver eats off that. They love to get the ball back, control the ball, control the run, use the play action, be smart with the football. That's how you're going to win the game. You're on home. The crowd's going to be behind you. It's going to be it's going to be a gong show at that, man. Saturday night in Detroit, 8:15 start, 8:20, whatever it is. Man, the crowd's on your side. You got a home game. Statement game, like Ant-Man said. Let's go. Like this. This is it, man. You got a quarterback. We got a quarterback here who's literally trying to get himself a new contract or an extension in this city. Right now, he doesn't deserve it. He needs to take over this football game and be smart with the football. And I'm not putting it all on Jared Goff, but I'm putting it majority on him because he's been terrible for a month. He's been absolutely terrible for a month. His defense is bad too, so it's just not Jared Goff's fault. So I don't want no truthers coming down on me. Just what I'm telling you how it is. This game is humongous. You've had a nice lead in the NFC North for a long time, Detroit. And you're starting to show this SOL team that people don't want to see ever again. Now, prove that you can handle a situation and win this football game. And it starts with our quarterback.
Yeah, it starts.
Done.
It starts with the head coach as well.
Him too, man.
This is a big game for. This is
a
really big game for Dan. I mean, he's got the opportunity to show that he is a bona fide head coach, that he can do it. If he's going to beat his mentor, the guy who's taught him everything, you go out there and he shows that you can go out and beat him. That's big for Dan. But I think he's had a problem recently, and we've Dan's aggressive to not aggressive scale. Obviously, year 1 very aggressive, year 2 not aggressive enough, and then he started to find the right balance between being not too aggressive but not too defensive either. He found a nice balance. And it's been really good progress from him. But I think in recent weeks, now that the pressure's starting to build, now that the NFC North's been there to win, I think he's getting a little too aggressive.
Too aggressive.
I think we should have taken the field goal in the Bears game the other day. I mean, I like his aggressiveness, but I think to try and get us over the line, I think he's gone back to his bit gung-ho days, like, right, we're going to emphatically do this. We are going to be aggressive from start to finish. Yeah. We are going to go out there and crush teams. Sometimes you've got to be a little smart. And I think that starts with him in this one. If it's an early drive, we're on a 4th and 5 or something, we're in Riley's range, just take the points, get the scoreboard moving, and then build on that. Because against the Bears, we didn't score points for a long time. And when that scoreboard stays at 0, or just stays on a score for a long time and doesn't move, that's when the pressure starts to build. So for Dan, he's just got to find that yin and yang again and just take the tint off being aggressive too much, because it's not the situation to do it now. We need confidence. We need points. I do admire it, but he needs to get his balance right again, because it's out of sync at the minute.
And here's the thing. When you do a turnover on downs, that's a turnover.
Exactly.
Okay, so that turnovers win you and lose you games. It's the biggest stat that has been consistent throughout the history of football. Don't turn the football over. I like some aggressive plays, but a 4th and 10 or a 4th and 12, in your own area, that's just stupid. Unless there's 2 minutes in the game and you have no other choice. I get it there. I'm not going to get upset about that. But that is dumb. I don't mind the 4th and 1 play, right? At your 35 where you only got 35 yards to get. But a delayed running back draw.
It's a dumb play call.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Play call I've ever seen. The defense is going to that 4th and 1. They're going to stack the line. They're going to stop the run first. A delayed handoff is an automatic loss because all the players are already there. You're not.
They've got a chance to get off the ground. They can even if they get blocked, they've got a chance for a second opportunity to get through. It's good. That's where you use JMO. You put JMO in motion, they ain't stopping him for a yard. No one's going to catch him.
He can hurdle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
have him in motion. Just tell him to sprint from one side of the field to the other and then take his yard. Who in the NFL is keeping up with him on a defense like that? Nobody.
He's going to get the 1 yard, right? Yeah. And same with Montgomery. You feel pretty confident that he needs to get 1 yard. And Jahmyr Gibbs, Matt. Gibbs is doing good. He's averaging 6 yards a carry right now. So don't do a delayed handoff.
But not out the
Trust your offensive line. Trust Penei Sewell. Trust Jonah Jackson that they can get you that 1 yard. A delayed handoff, that's not it. That's not it.
Yeah.
When you got a backup center and a backup right guard.
Yeah.
Like that is the interior of you're trying to run through the interior from 4th and 1. And when your interior has 2 guys out of position or 1 guy out of position, 1 backup, and your left guard who's just coming back off injury, that's the worst time to be putting it all on them. Like 3 guys got through and hit Jahmyr.
Yeah. There's been some questionable calls for Ben Johnson. I think he outsmarts himself sometimes. Like, you don't need to do some of the stuff you're doing. Delayed handoff on 4th down. Look, if you want to run it, I'm fine. 100%, man. Let's do power I or, get Gibbs on the outside. I'm fine with that, but delayed handoff is terrible. If you want to do a quick pass, cool with it. There's many different plays I think the Lions could get there. Delayed handoff may be the absolute worst play you could do.
Yeah, that was a bad call, man. That was a bad call. I couldn't believe they did that.
Yeah. And
just running up the middle, man. Just power eye it, man. I didn't understand that call.
Tush push because Jared Goff's not going to be. He's not a Jalen Hurts. He's not going to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, here I do like quarterback sneaks, but I do fear that you could lose your quarterback too if he consistently runs. You know what I'm saying?
The center gets mangled in that play. Jason Kelsey talks about it a lot, man. He's like, he literally has like 7-8 guys on top of him at the end of that play, and they're not putting Ragnow in that situation. No way.
We can't afford to lose Glasgow.
Yeah, and look, we got offensive linemen and we got a running back. I think that can get it. So we don't have a Josh Allen at quarterback, a Jalen Hurts at quarterback, a Dak Prescott, this big bot. They're a little more stronger than Jared Goff, whole size physically. True. And so these guys can do it a little bit better than a Jared Goff who's not that. And again, I don't know how many times this year a starting quarterback's missed time due to injury, but I know it's majority of the NFL. Jared Goff haven't done that because they're not making him run a lot.
And we don't need to. We've got the motion guys to do it. This is the OC that ran Penei Sewell as a wide receiver in motion to convert something like that last year. That's ingenious. Like we completely threw the Vikings off when we iced that game. That is clever. That is clever. That is clever. Yeah, that is clever play calling. But we have the guys to get in space and convert that. Like, we don't need to run it through the gut. That's not what we need to be doing. We have playmakers for this reason. Put it in the hands of your playmakers.
And as somebody said, I think Wolver Lion said earlier, I want 60% run, 40% pass. I concur, especially in this game. Just run the football. Like, how many times have we been if you start off early, you do a nice long sustained drive for a touchdown, guess what, folks? We're not behind the sticks, and you can control the way you play the game. But when you let teams score on you quickly, you can't do that. So let's control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, run the football, play action, pass. That is what this offense is about. We've gotten away from it. as of late. Seen a lot of 5 wide, and that's annoying. That's not what we're strong at. You know, run the football, play action pass.
I don't care if it's 60-40, 70-30. When this team is best is when it finds when it finds the defense's weaknesses and then goes for it. What did we do against the Saints? Laporta was the weakness for them. They could not deal with Laporta. You're putting him in the middle of the field. Yeah. You are passing it to him again and again and again. And what did that do? That opened up the ground game for us because those linebackers are like, we've got to sit back in coverage here because they're going to keep throwing it to Laporta, who burns them and burns them and burns them. We found a weakness and then we exploited it. I don't care if it's 60-40, 70-30. I just want us to find the weakness in the defense. We knew what the Bears' weakness was on defense. It was JMO. They are terrified of JMO when he starts going downfield and we start taking shots at him because it means they've got to spread their defense. And that's when the cracks appear in it. So whatever it takes, find the Broncos' weakness, whether it be a certain receiver, tight end, whether it be the running game, and then adapt your game to it. Don't start trying to be stubborn and just play the Detroit way. Play the way that wins games. The best offenses are the ones that adapt to game situations and don't stick to an overall view, an overall, way of playing. It's all about adapting. And we've got the weapons to adapt to anything in this league. That's what we need to do.
What do you think about putting Panay at left tackle and run to the left behind JJ, Jonah Jackson, and Panay Sewell?
It's too obvious.
I think maybe
obvious.
Yeah, it's
too
obvious.
obvious.
Taylor Decker's been struggling. I don't think that they're going to make a move this year, but it's possible they could do it next year where Panay finally gets to his left side.
So, if I'm not mistaken, Gibbs's big run the other day in the Bears game, didn't we put Panay as an extra lineman on the left-hand side?
Yes.
And we put Skipper in at right tackle, and then we ran it behind Skipper because the Bears adjusted. So having Panay and Taylor on the end of one line and Decker and Skipper on the other, we ran it to the right. That's clever thinking. That's misdirection. You can sort of do that. But if you just put Panay straight at left tackle, that's too obvious what you're going to do because there's only one reason you're putting him there, and that's the run behind his big ass. And, they'll just load up on it.
Yeah, for sure. And Taylor's he's been brutal the last couple weeks. I don't know if he's dealing with an injury or what, because it's unlike him.
It's a problem we don't need.
Yeah, it's a problem we don't need.
We cannot afford that problem because we need an offensive lineman in the draft next year. We probably need a D tackle. Yeah. We need an edge.
We
can't have another position come available on the trench because we just don't have enough picks, and we need corners. We need other needs as well. So
we're going World War One.
Taylor needs to get his stuff together. Yeah, Taylor needs to get his stuff together. We cannot afford another hole on that line to fill in the draft. We just physically can't.
Yeah, we definitely need defensive line, but we need offensive line as well. Just keep, we can't deal with the injuries like we have this year. It has clearly affected this offense. The injuries to the offensive line has really affected everything, and it starts with the offensive line. If your offensive line struggles, our offense struggles significantly. If it wins the line of scrimmage, it dominates. Like in the first half of the Chicago game, that last drive we did in the first half, absolutely dominating. Like when the Lions offensive line plays like that, the Lions offense is unstoppable. You can't stop it. They're just beating you down. So we got to have that mentality. Okay, let's keep getting more good linemen in the draft, in free agency, wherever you want to do it. We got to fix that right guard position. Maybe we got to look at center potentially, because we don't know the Frank Ragnow's future. I think he'll be back next year, but he's getting to the point where it's becoming somewhat of a liability because he's so banged up all the time. So I think for sure, offensive line, we need the big bodies. This year's draft, I think, will probably be boring because it's going to be a lot of that, but that's exactly what this football team needs. It needs DT, edge, offensive line, edge, DT, edge, O-line, just like
it needs a corner. It needs a corner
too,
well,
for sure.
Corner two somewhere down the line. It's going to be crazy.
We need a cornerback one.
We need.
Go and get your center cornerback one.
They got to get a cornerback, and you can get one. You could get this stuff too in free agency. I'm not just talking all draft, but this is what the offseason is. Cornerback, defensive tackle, offensive line.
That's it, man.
Go all in on this trenches in this offseason and make this team a dominant team. Dominant team for sure. Folks, we've been on for an hour, and I appreciate everybody hanging out. Mark, where can they find you?
You can find me on Mark Orem, Orem's Forum, the YouTube channel there. You know, I do absolutely Lions talk. I try to throw in a couple podcasts here and there. I haven't done one in a while, but I try to get a video out as much as I can. I try to do a few a week. Come check me out, man. Lions content, straight to the point, raw. Yeah, man, I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate you having me on, Mike, and thanks a lot, Ant, man. Love talking with you guys, bros.
Ant, man, tell the folks where they can find you.
So, yeah, you can find me at Roar of the Lions UK. We are a bunch of Detroit Lions fans over the pond here in the UK. We go live on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, do game previews, reviews, all that sort of stuff. So if you want to hear Detroit Lions views from across the Atlantic, then come give us a check out at Roar of the Lions UK. Mark, it's been good to chat to you again. It's been a while, so
yeah,
always
man.
Great, love it. And of course, it's great to chat with you as well, Mike. His middle name's Goat. He doesn't tell anyone, but
no.
It's Mike Goat. That's what he is. So yeah, I love chatting with you guys. Appreciate it.
It's definitely awesome hanging with the fellas. Everybody, we're getting closer to the Lions winning the NFC North. I know we lost. I know he sucks. I know a lot of Lions fans are on the edge like myself. I am totally on the edge. I want this team to win significantly. I want this team to win the NFC North. We're close, so close we can taste it. I think we're going to taste it soon. So go Lions. Have a wonderful day. And next time you see me, I'll actually be in Dallas talking to you from Chat Sports HQ. With that said,
Nice.
Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow morning. Going to Dallas. We'll be live there, and I'm going to get a Gatorade bath. They're Gatorade bathing me. So you get to see that. That should be fun.
That's awesome.
With that said, folks.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was trying to say, throw an egg at AT&T if you're there.
Hey, man. Throw an egg, man. Adios, guys.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And all the doubters, they're just young downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce.
It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.